And when I hear this motherfucking Garcetti getting up there, giving his speeches about, we're going to hire Eric Holder and we're going to put together a slush fund and we're going to get lawyers pro bono, but we've already carved out $10 million to pay lawyers to defend undocumented. I'm like, can we have some rail talk? As the guy who runs this fucking godforsaken piece of shit city, does it all have to be talk about a laser focus on undocumented workers not being, by the way, illegal immigrants who have been picked up on felony charges? Is every single one, Mayor Garcetti, does every waking hour and every calorie you have in terms of what you have to give to the city, shall it all be spent on illegal aliens who are incarcerated, not being brought back to their country of origin? Could we carve out 5% for some rail? Or should it just be 100% this is all you do? Because as someone who pays the taxes, I feel like it'd be nice if you split your time between the citizens that were paying taxes and living here lawfully and the illegal aliens who are here breaking the law. I would like just a nice 50-50 split. How about that? Does that seem reasonable?
Reasonable to me. 1950.
I've never, the great thing about fucking Garcetti is the only time you see the guy talks like he basically talks like he took a fucking Quaalude and took a hit off an ether rag. He has no personality, has no anything. He talks like he just walked out of a Bikram yoga class, and he's like, And the only time I've ever seen the guy animated as overprotecting people that are here illegally. That's the only time I've seen him raise his voice or take a stand. Is that what we're looking for in a mayor of the city? I'm not saying don't have opinions on that. I'm saying, can we get a little love? The taxpayers get a little love here? The folks that pay your bills and keep the streetlights on and the cops paid for and the utilities and the fire department and the roads, could those people who foot the bill for that, could we talk to them a little about some light rail, perhaps, in between a lot of the sanctuary city talk? Or is it all just going to be that? He did make a trip down to LAX. Not to discuss the light rail, but to welcome someone who'd been detained for 2 days from Iran. No light rail talk there, but a lot of open arms. Are we fucking high? This guy's such a fucking colossal pussy. I talked to that fucking dick when we were talking about, I said, can we stop it with the red light arrows? And can we stop it with the fucking click it or ticket? And he's like, I had no idea what I was talking about. No idea. Which, by the way, just suggests little to no interest in the biggest problem that plagues his city, which is traffic.
Well,
traffic
he should
affects
step down.
everybody.
He should step down. You should ask him to step
down. I'm gonna right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some of my heterosexual white friends, and we're gonna head down to the town square. And we're gonna demand that he steps down. God, what a fucking apathetic fucking pussy whip piece of shit. Jesus Christ.
How
you
do
ever
feel
hear
about
him talking about, I'd like to hear him talk about traffic for a change.
I know, it is really becoming...
Or light rail or the airport or something.
It's funny, I was thinking to myself this morning with, you've got rain all the time now, and the drought is over. Now, mind you, your bills are not going to change, but the drought is over. And I thought to myself, why can't we look back on what we just went through and call it what it was, a failure of our government to protect us? The failure.
What do you mean?
They did not prepare for a drought. There's going to be droughts. The rain goes up, rain goes down. It's their job not to wait for the Sierras to fill up with snow, but to have a system in place that gives us fucking water.
Well, that involves...
But when it happened, they go, you people are the problem. You're using too much water. Like, no. You guys are the problem. You failed us. That's one of government's basic procedures.
Yeah, but he's not interested in things that involve forming and concrete and rebar and shit like that. He'd rather fucking sit around in his drum circle and talk about feelings. He wants to talk about feelings.
You know, I was thinking about that, and Bill Maher picked up on this too, your thing that the Democratic Party has become the party of feelings. Did you hear him saying that?
Yes, I did.
And then I thought to myself, well, the feelings that they're concerned with are very specific. They're really only concerned with two things.
How about the feeling of being thirsty and
Right.
not having
They're not
any
concerned
fucking
with that.
water?
They're not concerned with that. They're concerned with someone being wounded, and they're concerned with their rage in response to that. That's it. Those are the two feelings, right?
I guess. It's like
Is there any other feelings? Is there sadness? Is there love?
It's the weirdest.
Joy? Anything else that they're concerned with? No, they're concerned with wound. That person's wounded. They're hurt. They're hurt feelings. Wounded.
Yes. No, I agree. It's such a weird thing. It's like you hear the news, and this isn't, CNN or Fox. It's just the local AM news, and it's like Garcetti has gone down to the airport to meet with the refugees, and Garcetti has put together a panel to get. He wants to get Eric Holder to head up a commission.
That's your friend Garrett. Can't he talk to these people?
Mayor Garcetti is meeting with leaders from the ACLU to discuss the Trump ban from Muslim countries. Garcetti, it's like. I'll every once in a while, I'll just look at Lynette and I'll go, can we hear something about him talking about adding another lane for travelers on the 405 or having a better business climate to have a better tax revenue here in the States, or a light rail that's going out to the airport, or monorail, or getting the standardized testing moved up and better testing in public schools? Something other than he's going to go meet with leaders from the Hispanic caucus to talk about the border wall and what can be done about it. It's like it's the least important thing to most of your constituency here in this, which is nobody's interested in.
Well, they're interested politically, but they're not interested in terms of what your job is supposed to be, which is not politics.
You have a massive problem with the homeless. You have a massive problem with traffic. You have a massive problem with the school systems not performing. Could we focus on that 20% of the time and just carve out the 80% for the illegal aliens? How about that? That's a little compromise. Or is this going to be 100% this? It's the only... Look, maybe he's quietly going about his way, working on a light rail system that will service LAX. I have no idea because he doesn't make any proclamations about that. That's not something he's interested in discussing. Maybe he's playing it super close to the vest. Maybe we'll just wake up tomorrow morning and he'll pull off a huge sheet and go, voila! And then we'll see a beautiful, gleaming new monorail that goes to LAX.
Speaking of Bill Maher, did you see Jim Jeffries going after Piers Morgan? Anybody see that, Gary? Did you see?
I saw.
Absolutely, it was great.
Yeah.
I saw. I saw some of it. I don't think I got that deep into it. I'm not sure what.
It's a lot of F-bombs and C-bombs and things.
He says, "Fuck off, mate." You'd know if you got there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's towards the end that Jeffrey started going in right before new rules.
It started off fairly civil.
Yeah.
A couple jabs.
It broke down.
But I didn't know what was. I'm not a huge Pierce guy, but I kind of dig what he's saying, which is okay. Here we are. We got a president. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's move forward. Let's see what we can do here. And that shit don't fly with that crowd. But I don't know what. I'm not sure why Jim was digging into him. I didn't get that far in.
I forget what the trigger was a while ago.
They've always had a bit of a...
Yeah.
The gun thing is very... Jeffries is very anti-gun, and Piers Morgan had his thing. And at a certain...
I thought Piers Morgan was very anti-gun.
He's not as anti-gun as Jim Jeffries, and at a certain point that...
But wait a minute. Now we're arguing over vegetarian and vegan, right? I thought Piers Morgan's whole thing was anti-gun.
But what I'm saying is that he brought up a gun segment that he did during his CNN show, and Jeffries went, yeah, we know, that's why you got fired, and it really kind of put him on the defensive.
Oh, I did see that part.
Yeah,
but
it was later that the thing came up.
But again, if you're both kind of, down with the cause...
It's weird.
But to a different degree.
Yeah.
But, I thought Pierce was sort of famously and probably to his detriment, career-wise, anti-gun. He used to just sit on a show and argue with people over guns.
I can't remember what he triggered. He said something that triggered Jim. Just really, essentially, let this guy give this guy a try or something.
All right.
Jim said essentially FUUC is what he said several times.
All right.
The Australian C word that means
they're allowed to use it.
Yeah.
The grandfather then.
By the way,